Good morning. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and for some reason, I kind of want to cover this today. All right, so police brutality has been an issue in the United States for a while now. It's been pretty serious. It has caused a lot of uproar, a lot of riots, a lot of more deaths. It has caused a lot of issues. Not to mention the lack of trust in law enforcement, the desire to defund the police, which I don't really think is a great idea, but we need to do something about it. Um, I don't think it has been as bad lately. I haven't heard anything lately that's happened. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Again, I hope that y'all were, recovering from yesterday. I know y'all probably had three, four helpings. Y'all probably went to this house, that house, that house, that house. And y'all probably have to go play it in the microwave, or two or three. Anyways, so for one, police brutality is absolutely a freaking issue. It's a bad problem, bad issue. Um, yeah, something needs to be done about that. In the United States, police killed an astonishing 1,099 people just in 2019 alone. Can you imagine that? Over 1,099 people in 2019 were killed due to police brutality. That's insane. There is certainly a racial divide in this situation. African American people are 3 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than white people. In addition, 21% of victims that were black were unarmed, while only 14% of white victims were unarmed. Yeah, yeah. Police representatives rarely get convicted, and we know this. A lot of times, with police brutality cases, they are put on paid leave or desk duty or whatever. Everyone rides for each other. It's very unethical. Racist problems run deep. The Great Migration between 1916 and 1970 of African Americans from the South into the urban areas of the North and West in America shaped the interactions between African Americans and police departments. The police department were not accustomed to the presence of African Americans and used fear and hostility as a means of reaction. Police departments of the North presumed that African American men had an inherent tendency towards criminal behavior. Yeah, not an excuse, sorry. The problems largely grew after World War II. Following World War II, the incidents of police brutality increased in frequency for a wide variety of reasons. It's believed to be an issue of class, too. Victims of police brutality, including not only African American people, whites, and other ethnic groups, too, typically come from poor or low-income backgrounds. They have typically lacked the political influence and the financial resources required to publicize their comments on police brutality effectively. Black Lives Matter emerged as a way to fight back with protest. The death of Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, triggered protests nationally back in 2014. A powerful and crucial... Oh, my phone's glitching up. Crucial social movement was launched by activists after his death, which is now known as Black Lives Matter. Justice prevailed, but the damage was done. Back in 1991, a black man named Rodney King was beaten by numerous police officers after he led police on a car chase throughout L.A. County. A video of the beating was recorded, and King was in critical condition, suffering 11 fracturing and other injuries. 2 officers were sentenced to 30 months in prison, and King was awarded $3.8 million in compensatory damages. Oh yeah, I remember George Floyd, don't you? He had used the counterfeit money, and they called the police, and they strangled him to death. It was terrible. George Floyd, the African American killed by the police on the 25th of May in 2020 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, has sparked mass protests and rioting across the U.S. It's being reported that this level of racial civil unrest has not been set since the 1968 assassination of Martin Luther King. Floyd's killers eventually faced justice. Derek Chauvin, a former police officer, was eventually imprisoned for the murder of George Floyd and in prison for 22 and a half years in jail. Let's go. even though 22 years in jail is not enough. But that is a big deal for police officers and accountability. It's a big deal. Main forms of police brutality, unfortunately, it takes many forms, including wrongful searches of suspects, excessive force, racial discrimination, and even sexual assault. Asphyxiation, beatings, shootings, improper use of tasers, and inappropriate takedowns. There's a lot of different forms of police brutality. Yes, okay, I'm sorry, I started to answer the question. Is it possible to sue for police brutality? Yes, it is. I'm not even going to read their answer, because their answer says it all depends on the state in which the event took place. For example, it's possible to sue on... Yes, you can. Yes. How common is police brutality or misconduct? It's thought that as many as 20% of all police officers in the U.S. will face claims of misconduct during their career. So that's just a couple facts about it. I like to talk about it a little bit, try to get into it. Like I said, police brutality is excessive or unwanted and often the legal use of force against civilians by police officers is known as police brutality. Okay, so now we're going to get into this video that I wanted to talk about and watch with y'all. Yeah, if you're a police officer, please try to make a change. Don't just try to fit in with the regular blues. I mean, a lot of changes got to be done. And at what point are y'all going to be tired of being sued, losing y'all's jobs because you can't be a decent human being? Like, come on now. Get it together. I know I look rough today, guys. I literally just woke up not too long ago. And this is what I look like. Yeah, my hair's really dry. I need to wash it, oil it, condition, all that stuff. But I want to do this first. So, just excuse the mess. Okay? Thank you.
Sell System helps you sell at every stage of your business. With fast and secure pay.
Evil and racist cops have always been around, going around abusing their power on minority groups.
He saw this, and he wanted to make a problem.
But what happens when these racist cops get caught in the act?
I'm on the same side as you.
No, you aren't.
Here are 3 examples of when racist cops are caught, starting with the shocking case of Kyle Erickson, who tried to frame a black suspect.
A little bit of weed.
On the 13th of March 2018, Officer Kyle Erickson and his partner pulled over Jason Serrano and his friend for an apparent broken taillight. However, this stop ended up getting seriously out of hand when a cop tried to plant evidence.
The car smells like marijuana, so we're going to check it, all right? Then that's it. Then I got to make sure everything's good with your end. Just get the taillight fixed. There's nothing in the car. You'll be good to go. All right?
Immediately, the cops claim they can smell marijuana in the car and say that they're going to have to search it. Usually, a civilian has the right to refuse a search, but if the cops have probable cause to believe a suspect has committed a crime, they can bypass that right and search their property without consent. Smelling weed on the property technically counts as probable cause, and because it's impossible to dispute while looking at body cam footage, it's often used as a way for corrupt cops to easily begin a search without the suspect's permission or a warrant.
We need to check the car, so I need you to hop out.
Okay, I'm getting up.
Okay.
Woo! Adapted Mind Math! Come explore the site with me. I'm in first grade, so I'll pick that. Neato! A fun fishing adventure! Fish until you find the sunken ship. Oh, I'm excited! I think...
Hang on.
I don't have nothing in my jacket. I'm not.
Okay, well, he's going to check it.
I don't have nothing in.
No. Relax.
No, I don't need.
This situation is about to escalate for no reason.
No, because I didn't do nothing.
It was in the car.
No, this is on me.
Relax.
It's my possession. Come on.
Relax.
Relax. Put that jacket down right now.
Put the jacket down. Cuff him up.
For the rest of the body cam footage, Jason is left on the ground, handcuffed, and visibly in pain from the takedown. It took almost 20 minutes for an ambulance to arrive. It's unclear on the body cam footage, but with how much pain Jason is in, it's obvious that an unnecessary amount of force was used to take him down. So for the cops, this is just where the story begins, and you can see the exact moment reality sets in for them.
All right, searching the rest of the car. Actually, I'll let you check. Yeah. There's no flashlight. I'll stay with him.
The officers are fully aware that they've hurt Jason, and if their car turns up empty, all they've done is searched a car without a warrant and used excessive force to unlawfully detain a civilian. However, if they do find something illegal, then all of that should magically go away, as Jason and the driver go from civilians to criminals, and they're just helping bring them to justice. At this point, it's not necessarily just about race. They're trying to save themselves after making a violent mistake. Obviously, this is horribly corrupt, but nevertheless, the stakes are high for the cops. Their jobs are on the line, and they have to find something.
No, she has the proper documentation for the plates. Temporary registration is valid. Just ran her permit only. He doesn't have a driver's license. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Did you see if my partner found anything yet?
Oh. See nothing.
Nothing?
After searching the entire vehicle for about 5 minutes, the cops turn up nothing, and they both start to seem more and more agitated. But here's where things start to take a dark and shady turn. When the officers fail to turn up anything, they decide to get a little creative.
See nothing. You know what I mean? A little bit of weed.
Without even trying to hide it from his camera, the detective places a small bud of marijuana in the cup holder of the vehicle where he's already checked multiple times. The way the officer does this without even trying to hide it implies that he's almost certain that this will never come back to haunt them, and even suggests that this might not be his first time doing it either. In fact, the way the cops have been talking to each other the entire time indicates that this might just be a regular step in their process.
You good? Good? Yeah.
All of a sudden, the cops have a case against Jason. During the stop, they smelled marijuana in the car. Jason became combative after they asked to search it, so they took him down and searched the car, where they found not only a small piece in the cup holder, but even flakes in his jacket. This is the story that Jason was taken to trial over, and he was charged with marijuana possession, resisting arrest, and obstructing governmental administration. It took over 2 years for this body cam footage to emerge, and only then would Jason's charges be dropped. Predictably, no charges were brought against the officers, but it did raise an important question. What else has been caught on these cameras that's being hidden from us? This is why some people feel it's important to record their interactions with police themselves, just like this black police graduate did when he was confronted by these two officers blatantly racially profiling him.
We see some ID.
No, what for?
I just asked you.
What's your probable cause to ask me for ID?
It does not have a handicap placard.
Read the plate, man. You don't even know what you're talking about. DV. That's disabled veteran plate. We can park in handicapped spots.
Let me see some ID, please.
No.
The man recording is a graduate of the nearby police academy and was wearing full gear and uniform, including his duty belt with a loaded weapon. Because he's police academy certified, he's completely within his right to wear the gear, but the officers aren't buying it. So the graduate tells them to run his name through TCOL, an agency that, amongst other things, keeps track of every...
We know you're hovering over that button, but we need your help. We have a better button, we promise.
People are crazy as shit. Like, I swear, like, for one, going back to the last story, how are you not charged or penalized for any of that? That was, like, way too much. That was, like, yeah, not it.
Police officer in Texas. If the graduate is cleared to wear his gear, TCOL will prove it.
Run it. Run it. Call T-Cole. You have no justification or probable cause to run up on me. Yeah. Why? You detaining me? No. Then my question is, are you detaining me? Okay, so then don't tell me where to go. He's not too smart because first of all, even you know, if I have disabled veteran plate, I can park in a handicapped spot. Even you know that. No, they didn't just change that. It's been that way.
The problem the officers had was that the graduate was parking in a handicapped spot without displaying a parking permit. But his car has a disabled veteran plate, a license plate given to many Army veterans who've made a bodily sacrifice during their active duty. Owning the plate lets you park in handicapped spots without a permit. This is fairly common knowledge across America, especially for cops. But it seems that these officers forgot about it here, and the graduate thinks he knows why.
He just saw this. and he saw this, and he wanted to make a problem. That's your reputation there, Joshua. Come on, man. Yes, it is. How many black officers you got? One.
Yeah, we don't have one right now.
One, right, one.
Yeah,
I know. And you barely let him in.
It's difficult to disagree with the graduate. They had absolutely no reason to stop the graduate and demand his ID. Maybe a new recruit could forget about the veteran plates, but this man is actually a police captain and has many years of police service under his belt. Evidently in a department with next to no black representation. Eventually the officers return to tell him he's free to go, but the graduate isn't leaving before saying one last thing.
You know, you're feeling small now, aren't you?
No, that's it.
You shouldn't run up on people. You have no probable cause. If you wanted to follow me and run my plate, you could have done that.
Talk to anybody?
No, well, I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to talk to you. That's right. I already told you that. Waste my time and you. You're supposed to be a captain, and you don't know the disabled plates have a right to park in a parking spot. And you violating people's rights, running up on them without probable cause. I'm in a uniform doing the same thing for you for free. So what? I don't care what he thinks. I'm a graduate and I have T-Code certification. I have T-Code certification. Yes, I do. That's what you checked it. It says who? My certification doesn't say expired. You want it to be expired because you see brown skin. So take a walk. Walk of shame, Captain. Don't ever you run up on me again. You understand? And learn the law, and you better have probable cause before you run up on somebody in uniform. You don't have no reasonable suspicion because I'm on the same side as you.
No, you aren't.
I'm a graduate of the police academy, okay? Just like you years ago. You probably couldn't even pass the test. Right now, you go. You get going.
Getting into fights with other uniformed police officers definitely isn't the best look for a police captain, especially after racially profiling that very same officer. And because the graduate was filming the entire thing himself, he was able to show the city manager, and that very same afternoon, it was revealed that the captain was no longer working for the police department. Unfortunately, though, it's extremely rare for cops to actually be reprimanded after behavior like this, as is obvious in the case of Montre Little. In this case, the cop not only lied and threatened Montre, but he even cost the city $75,000 and still got away with no punishments. On July 15, 2018, Montre and his friend were pulled over by the police. The stop started out normal, but quickly evolved into a perfect display of how cops will try to force you into a false confession through corruption and, in this case, racism.
What's going on, guys?
Not much. How you doing, officer?
Is this your car?
Well, it's a rental right now. My car's been shot.
Okay. Did something break down?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. You guys just came from over at the park, right?
Yeah, we just hanging out.
That's it? Is this your car?
I just told you my car's in the shop, officer. This is a rental.
Okay. How do you start it?
What do you mean? I just put my foot on the brake and I put it in drive and I drive, officer.
At first, this may seem like a harmless question, but asking the driver, Montre Little, how to start the car essentially implies that the cop thinks he stole it. If Montre was unfamiliar with the vehicle, he would have likely struggled to remember how to start it. And if he fumbled around a little before remembering,
this game, you're not ready for.
it could imply he was under the influence. But Montre kept his composure and passes this first test totally fine. The cop, however, still isn't impressed and decides to take things further by tricking Montre into giving his property over.
So it's your car, though? Did they give you a fob or something?
My car, officer.
Did they give you a key fob or something? Or?
Yes, sir. Officer.
Like, what does it do? Does it?
You see, that should let you know that it's in.
Okay. Do you have any weapons on you or in the car?
No, officer.
Okay, can I be honest with you? It smells like marijuana in the car, and I can see shake on the ground. Your buddy's given me the idea that maybe he's got a gun. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think.
How?
I don't know. Just the way, just the way you're holding yourself, man. Like, that's why we're nervous, man. That's it.
Not only did the officer mislead Montre into giving the keys over, but he's also suddenly decided he can smell marijuana in the vehicle, and based purely on a hunch, that the passenger is hiding a weapon. Both of these things, especially the marijuana smell, are often used as a reason to search the vehicle, bypassing the need for consent by the property owner. The speed and order in which the officer works here is extremely suspicious. Confiscating the keys without even mentioning it implies that he already decided he was going to search the vehicle, and that he was trying to make Montre feel helpless or even threatened. Emotions you can clearly see on his face as they're stolen from him.
Go ahead and step out, Montre. Yep, I just told you why. 3 times. You want me to recap again? I mean, I told you I'm a cop. Face the car when you step out. Face the car when you step out. Face the car when you step out. Don't flex. Don't flex. I don't know what you're doing, man, but you need to knock that off. Stop pulling on your arms. What's going on, dude? Where are you trying to go? What are you doing, dude?
Officer, I'm not doing nothing to you.
Well, you're making me think something funny's going on, man. Okay, so slide over. I mean, your heart is thumping, dude. Like, you're beating.
Officer, don't, please.
Everything the cop has done and said so far is textbook in terms of corruption. This is obviously a serious event for Montre, but the cop is deliberately trying to be lighthearted and jovial about the whole thing, using words such as funny and silly to purposefully seem condescending. He also mentions that Montre's heart is beating fast and that he seems nervous. Another classic observation that appears time and time again in these cases. Think back to the stop of Marion Humphrey, whose truck was searched for the sole reason that he seemed nervous. Innocent civilians such as Montre will always feel anxious or even angry in this situation, and it's an easy observation for cops to make to detain them and obtain probable cause, which is exactly what the cop did. The search uncovered nothing illegal in Montre's car, but the cop kept him in the back of his patrol vehicle. This is where things start to get really shady.
I did everything you asked me to, officer. You thought there was a weapon. There's no weapon. We wasn't doing anything wrong, officer. I'm not sure why you pulled me over. That's your rental. Everything is fine. There's no breaking taillight or nothing, officer. I did nothing wrong with you.
Did I make anything up when I said the car smelled like marijuana?
Yeah, a little bit. Hold on. Because there was nobody smoking in the car.
Is there marijuana shake on the floor of the car?
Officer, that was cigarette ash, okay? You didn't find no marijuana.
I'm not charging you with marijuana. But here's what. If you want me to be real with you, like I want you to be real with me for a second. Like, did I make that up?
I believe so, officer.
Okay, so you want me to just write you the tickets for the stuff that I have to write you tickets for? If you think that I'm lying, like, then we'll go to court and we'll talk about it then.
Okay.
Or do you want to just be real with me and I'll be real with you?
Wow, officer.
Montre is being aggressively backed into a corner. The cop obviously knows that he's done something wrong. He's only trying to get Montre to forget about it and move past it without further incident. When he doesn't, the cop threatens him by saying he'll write up the ticket and he'll have to take it to court, where it'll essentially be Montre versus the world. It's also important to remember that cops are allowed to lie and use deceptive tactics to extract a confession. If Montre had told him that he didn't make up the smell, then in a weird, twisted way, he essentially just admitted to possessing illegal drugs. Luckily, Montre maintained his story and was reluctantly let go by the cops. Just days later, Montre sued the city and after a year of fighting, reached a settlement of $75,000 based on an unlawful traffic stop and warrantless search. The cop was removed from patrol duty, but not fired, despite leading one of the most callous displays of corruption ever caught on camera. But the police are extremely good at one-upping themselves when it comes to corruption. Take, for example, the time when 2 Californian cops essentially kidnapped a man eating lunch in his own car.
What's going on?
You live around here?
Hey, don't touch,
bro. Relax. Hey, you match the description of somebody, okay, that just committed a burglary in the area. Okay, you're on camera, so don't step out of the car.
Is your body cam on?
It's on. Yes. It's on.
What's step on out, dude?
We'll explain everything to you, okay? Just step out of the car. Step out of the car.
I'm not stepping out of the car.
You're being detained for a burglary investigation, okay, sir? So step out.
No.
Do you live in the area?
I'm not answering questions. I want my lawyer.
Okay. Step out of the car. You're being detained right now. All right? Step out of the car.
Firstly, the suspect.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything
Can't stand
online.
their
Don't
ass,
spend
especially
another
ones that
dime
act
on
like
Amazon
that.
until
It's
you
freaking
watch this.
ridiculous.
Suspect named Jamal Williams does everything right. He tells the cops he's not answering any questions until he has a lawyer. Unfortunately for him, though, the cops aren't having any of it because he matches the description of a suspect that technically gives them the right to detain him while they investigate further. What's interesting is that the only description the cops had was that it was a black male wearing all black in his early 20s, possibly a red t-shirt underneath. Jamal is 40 years old, wearing a red hoodie and gray sweatpants. It's also incredibly hard to punish cops for detaining someone that doesn't match that description, as they could just say they thought he did. In general, the system is very lackluster, but it shouldn't necessarily harm or bother Jamal. Not unless the cops do this.
Sir, step on out, dude.
You're on camera, dude, so don't do anything dumb, okay?
Hold on. I'm gonna get this on camera.
Go ahead, you can record. Step in the car, please.
He's being aggressive.
Hey, stop resisting, dude.
Stop resisting.
I'm just...
Why are you... What? No, man.
Okay.
Call your supervisor. 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 Stop, dude. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. I'm gonna chase you, dude. Call your supervisor. Get out of the car. Call your supervisor. Yeah, call your supervisor. I got Give me your hand. I don't give you consent.
Even to tase the fuck out of you?
I don't give you consent to touch me. Don't reach. I don't give you consent.
Handcuff.
Initially, Jamal showed no signs of aggression and no signs of resisting. He was just trying to open his phone to record the interaction for his own safety. Nevertheless, the cop immediately said he's being aggressive as Jamal was willingly stepping out of the car.
Step in the car, please.
He's being aggressive.
This obviously frustrated Jamal, and he later admitted from then he did try and stay inside the vehicle. But the amount of force the cops used from here on was completely unwarranted. One cop even pulled a taser and threatened to use it on Jamal, despite him posing no actual threat. Jamal is then handcuffed and kept face down on the tarmac while multiple other patrol vehicles arrive at the scene. For a man guilty of nothing other than eating his lunch, that sure is a lot of cops.
If we take these off, are you going to cause a fire? Are you going to kick any windows out, anything like that?
I don't have to questions. You can leave them on then, that's fine.
That's fine.
Which one do you want to put him up and get him to a car? Just leave him here until fire season real quick, make it easy.
He doesn't want to walk, and he doesn't want to answer questions. He wants to see. Alright, cool. Is your first name Jamal?
Leave that man alone, man.
I don't give you consent to go in my car and check my car. I don't give you consent to check my car. You're violating my 4th Amendment constitutional right.
So, I think we can move forward and try at least get on the back seat.
Yeah, that's fine. What's your name again? Now, why are you guys kidnapping? I can't talk to you until you help me out. Tell me, why am I being kidnapped? Well, if they move you, we'll figure that out. I'll let you know. Okay? Find a car and put it in there. We'll talk when you get here.
At this point, there are over a dozen cops at the scene, and Jamal is fully restrained in both handcuffs and leg wraps. He's also already been cleared to not be the suspect, yet he's still taken to the patrol car, fully restrained, and put in the back seat. It's also important to note that the cops were able to identify and clear Jamal by running his plates, something they could have done in secret before even approaching him. The worst part is that even after all of this, Jamal still wasn't free. He was cleared of the burglary charge, but he was instead hit with a felony charge of resisting arrest and taken to jail. Jamal later filed a formal complaint with the LA Sheriff's Department. But just as another example of how corrupt this system is, they were allowed to investigate themselves. And as you'd expect, they found no evidence of any wrongdoing. Months later, Jamal filed a civil rights lawsuit against the arresting officers. Unfortunately, though, the story remains much the same. The officers were investigated by a police lieutenant, and after analyzing the body cam footage, it was concluded that Jamal's actions turned the interaction confrontational, and that the arresting officers were courteous throughout the entire event. Jamal's charges were dropped, but no charges were brought against either of the cops.
Oh my god. What? Oh, your heart's beating so fast. Oh my gosh, you seem so nervous. Well, golly, officer. Yes, I am nervous. Look what y'all do. I'm nervous when a police car pulls behind me. I'm nervous when a police car is driving next to me. And, you know, I'm biracial. You know, officer's really not gonna. I can't see myself being racially profiled just because I am so light complected. But still, I'm still fucking nervous. I'm nervous as shit. Who the hell wants to be pulled over? Who the hell wants to deal with any of that? Get it the fuck together. Get it together, officers, please, because this is freaking ridiculous. And I wonder if there's been any police brutality situations lately. Oh, wow. A day ago, a man family shot by a cop on LA Freedom was struggling after family blasts absolute police brutality. Can't hear anything, but yeah, that's ridiculous. Damn. So 2022, 1,100, almost 1,200 people were killed. It's about 100 people a month last year. What? Alright guys, but you know, that's it for now. I hope you have a great Friday. It is Friday. I'm about to get dressed, do my hair, go in there. Sean wants his dang phone charger. I'm gonna go take him his phone charger, go play with Millie, change my clothes, probably feed her some banana apple oatmeal breakfast or something. Until next time, and I'll post some shorts later.